Hello, farm families, and welcome to ILcornTV, where today we will hear from Rod Weinzierl, Executive Director of Illinoiscorn, about federal and state goals in 2023. We will also learn more about a benefit of cover crops on your operation. And is it possible that Brazil could outpace the U.S. in corn production? We will find out. Illinoiscorn would really appreciate it if you would hit like or subscribe to our YouTube channel for more agriculture news and information affecting Illinois corn farmers. We so enjoy bringing these segments to you, and we appreciate your time in viewing our content. First, let's turn to Illinoiscorn Executive Director Rod Weinzierl on legislative priorities in 2023.
Now that we're in our 51st year, many of the issues that we've been working on, we still are working on, but we're making progress on those issues. Our leaders talked some about the great infrastructure announcement we had back the first part of 2022, where within the federal infrastructure package, full funding was granted for Lock 25, which is on the Mississippi River. This is one of 7 locks that we've been advocating for to upgrade both the upper Mississippi River and the Illinois River, and it was really a great accomplishment. What was kind of unique is it's full funding, so it's funding to completion, so it's not an annual appropriation like we've dealt with on many other projects, which is one of the challenges we've had around upgrading waterway infrastructure. And so that full funding was a little over $750 million. So these locks are not inexpensive projects. But, you know, we hope to get maybe that lock break ground here sometime in the first quarter or second quarter of 23.
Now, let's turn to Midwest Grass and Forage for this week's benefit of using cover crops for weed suppression.
One of my favorite benefits, because it's so obvious that cover crops can bring to an operation, is the weed suppression. It's usually one of the first things that farmers are able to see and to be able to tell that cover crops are working. So lots of different cover crop species out there, and not one single species can do everything. So it's important to work with a trusted advisor to determine first what your goals are and what you're looking at from the cover crop or wanting to get out of it. And then we can fine tune the recommendation for you. So on weed suppression, one of the best options is going to be cereal rye, but there's several other options such as radish, turnips, oats, crimson clover that are good benefits at suppressing the weeds also.
And now let's turn to an interesting story about Brazil and their corn crops. Here is Dr. Joanna Colussi.
I'm Joanna Colussi. I'm originally from Brazil, and at this moment I am a postdoctoral research associate at the University of Illinois. So in Brazil, it is possible to have until 3 crops per year. Different than here in the United States, it's possible to have 1 crop per year. In Brazil, it is possible to have 3 crop corns per year. For example, the first crop corn in the south of Brazil happened at this moment, in the summertime in Brazil. The second crop corn is in the center west of Brazil and in the northeast of Brazil, and happened during the fall and winter time in the regions that we don't have a real winter time. And recently we have a third crop corn in the northeast of Brazil. It still represents very small, but if you go back at 20 years ago, the safrinha, the second crop corn, was little small. Safrinha, it's little harvest in Portuguese. And today the second crop corn, the safrinha, represents more than 70% of the corn production in Brazil. The market of the corn in Brazil is very positive at this moment, especially because Brazil and China signed one agreement last year to sell Brazilian corn to China. In 2022, Brazil hit a record in corn exports, and there is the expectation that this number will increase in 2023. So there is a forecast that Brazil could reach 50 million metric tons of the corn exports in 2023. This amount is very similar than the forecast for the US corn exports, that is 53 million metric tons. So maybe in 2024, 2025, Brazil could surpass United States as the major exports of the corn in the world.
Thank you for tuning in today for ILcornTV. We hope your week is a good one.